is the Big O Show. This 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 is the Big O Show.
When you move, you need a reliable company led by passionate folks eager to assist its customers during a transitional process that needs to be smooth. Call Essential Moving Experts at 844-368-5750 for all your local and long-distance moving needs. You can rely on Essential Moving Experts. Mention the Big O Radio Show and get $150 off. Family owned and operated. They offer free 30-day storage, full-service moving, fully licensed, bonded, and insured. Moving was never so easy. EssentialMovingExperts.com.
For over 16 years, EJDConstruction.com has provided South Florida residents quality craftsmanship, accurate project management, and exceptional service. That's why EJDConstruction.com is an A-rated member of Angie's List and the Better Business Bureau. When you're looking for the right custom home builder for additions or home remodeling, please call my friend Eric at 305-433-4843. That's 305-433-4843 for EJDConstruction.com.
Welton Rayom has more than 62 years of litigation experience handling insurance disputes. They're committed to resolving even the toughest insurance claims quickly. Call them for a free consultation. 954-966-4646. At Welton Rayom, they don't get paid unless you win. Property damage claims to your home, business, or condo as a result of a hurricane. Welton Rayom can help. Water, mold, fire, smoke damage, Welton Rayom can help. Call 954-966-4646.
There's no need to drive around South Florida wasting valuable time looking for a new or certified pre-owned Acura. Go to the #1 volume sales dealership in the Southeast United States. Craig Zinn's Acura of Pembroke Pines. Purchase with pace and space in a dealership tailored to your needs. From home buying to providing that personal touch. Contact the 2020 Satisfaction Award winner Craig Zinn's Acura of Pembroke Pines. 888-776-5123. That's 888-776-5123. Or visit them at 15601 Pines Boulevard in Pembroke Pines.
When presenting an award to an employee, athlete, executive, or fantasy GM, make sure you call Orvieto's Awards and More. For 35 years, these custom award specialists have been providing plaques, trophies, custom framing, while providing state-of-the-art laser and computerized engraving, UV printing, and glass crystal etching. They do all their engraving and printing in-house for quality control. Call Charles at 305-949-8098 or visit them at OrvietosAwards.com. Orvieto's Awards and More, where recognition is rewarding.
Welcome to Caneswear. New store, new items, same great experience. Family owned and operated since 2010, Caneswear has the latest merchandise from the Miami Hurricanes, Miami Dolphins, Florida Panthers, InterMiamiCF, and more. Come visit us at our store in Davie on University Drive, just south of 595, or online at caneswear.com. Caneswear, the spot Miami fans shop.
Viewpoint statements or beliefs expressed on the following program by the host, guests, or callers are not necessarily the opinions of FantasyXS.com, Media Group Inc. ownership, management, sponsors, or website. When it comes to South Florida sports teams, very few in the media have witnessed, lived, and covered it like the Big O. Let's start the program dedicated to your favorite South Florida teams with a passion that's unmatched. The Big O Radio Show is on. Here's the Big O.
All righty. Good morning, one and all. I hope you all are doing well. I hope you're hanging in there after day one of free agency. I know there's a bunch of you out there that we kind of need to walk off the ledge. And I think that's what we're going to do today on the show is kind of explain what went on yesterday with the Miami Dolphins, what's going to go on after everything I've been able to gather and look at, see what's, assess the situation. We will address all of that. What else? Well, really, locally, Panthers are back in action tonight. None of them were in action yesterday. Inter isn't back in action till Wednesday. That's the important stuff going on with Inter, obviously, with the CONCACAF. So really, it's all about the Dolphins right now. Some national stuff that we can get into also, but and of course, always about Bitcoin and Van Art Chain this morning. That was nice, by the way. That was very nice by Van Art Chain. Love it. All right. So we are locked and posted pretty much everywhere. Everybody knows we're on live. So there you go. Just posting and making sure on the social media accounts that they know we're live, because people are lazy. They don't really like all of them subscribe. I tell you all the time to subscribe, hit the notification bell, and the like button when you're watching and all that kind of stuff. But they still kind of need a reminder with a post and wherever they follow us on all these social media platforms, which there's like 800 of them that I have to post on nowadays, which is kind of crazy. I'm telling you. Anyway, I see we got the chat board already lit up. Remember, if you got a question, a comment, an insult, maybe even a compliment, you can make a donation to the show and send in that question, comment, or insult on Cash App or Venmo at Cash Big O Show. That is Cash Big O Show. David Furonis is going to join us at 10:30 with our Welt and Rayom Miami Dolphins report. So we'll have some fun with him. We'll get his thoughts on this, but let's start. All right, because I know a lot of you out there are tuning in and you want to get this, and you don't want to hear right now about Bitcoin still holding strong at 72,000, that kind of stuff. You don't want to do that with 72,236, by the way, which is a beautiful thing. And hopefully Star Atlas is going to take off again, because that would really make my day today. That would make my day. Make my day. Make my day. All right, here we go. So we got losses yesterday, obviously. There's still free agents out there, some that we've talked about, and they signed some. So let's first start with what you lost. Okay, let's start off and talk about what the Dolphins ended up losing in free agency and the possible decisions that were, a part of some of these things, okay? Because it's not as simple and cut and dry as some of you make it out to be. And I try to explain to you all what's going on. And, like there's one thing out there that goes out and it shows that, a lot of you out there really don't understand this. Oh, Tua, we have to re-sign Tua so we can't sign other guys. Tua's big money won't kick in for 3 years. They'll manipulate the number this year, next year, and then the year after is when it kicks in, and then that's when it gets ugly. And so it has nothing to do with Tua, the decisions from yesterday. So let's get through it. But again, we have, unfortunately, anything and everything that happens, half the fan base that didn't want Tua and is not convinced by Tua, they're going to keep using that as a crutch. It'll make you sound stupid and, you sound, dumb. Now, if you want to sound unintelligent, you go ahead and keep doing that. That's fine. Listen, you're probably talking to somebody else that's stupid, so they're going to believe you, and then they'll repeat the same thing, and then that's what happens. Because I cut off a guy yesterday from that. It's like, no, dude, it has nothing to do with that right now. But I get it. You don't like Tua, so you want to, throw him under the bus for anything that you possibly can. So let's start off with AVG. It hurt me to lose AVG, okay? The AVG deal wasn't a crippling deal, but it was a decision that you had to make that once you were able to get a Jordan Brook, right, you have to make a decision. And somebody was telling me, well, it's different positions. He's replacing Baker, this, that, whatever. And listen, whether Walker is replacing Baker or whether you're going to put Brook, which is going to be right next to Long in the inside linebacker spot, that had nothing to do with it. It had to do with money. Okay. And so when you look at it, they wanted Brook. That was kind of a player instead that they probably felt was better suited for them than Weaver. And with Weaver, he's coming off a Liz Frank injury and he's turning 29 this year. So these are things that you have to weigh in when you're giving a linebacker a multi-year deal, and he's coming off a Liz Frank injury that he will not be ready till training camp. So they won't even know what they have in him until training camp. So it was kind of a gamble that Minnesota took. Obviously, Flores knows him, but still, it's not as cut and dry as you would think it is. He's about to turn 29, and he's coming off a Liz Frank injury. So there was a bit of a gamble where they felt that Jordan Brook would be a better player for them in their system, and they felt that, okay, let's use the money there instead of here. And so as much as I was baffled with AVG, I kind of understand the Liz Frank. He's turning 29 this year. He won't be ready till training camp. Jordan Brook is ready to go. He's a stud. He and Long inside solidifies. So you kind of wash. Okay. The Walker kid, and the guy's started 75 games in his career. And he ended this, and he's been pretty durable overall. He had a little banged up knee at the end and missed a couple of games, but it wasn't a serious knee injury. So he'll be fine and ready to go, and a good rotational linebacker. I'm not telling you he's starting, but he'll be a good rotational linebacker overall. So you look at what you lost, and then you look at what you add in the process. And you have a guy that is ready to go for you right away. Okay. No question marks here. So now you lose Christian Wilkins. Okay. And Christian Wilkins got a deal that they expected, by the way. At one point or another, when you're negotiating, there's tampering going on. So let's not make, because some people out there make it sound like the Dolphins were caught by completely surprise. No team is caught completely by surprise. If you're negotiating with your player and you're negotiating with the agent constantly, that agent, if he's doing his job, is having some conversations backdoor with other teams to see where they're interested. And that's the number that they know they're interested in. So now they're going to drive their current team to that number. And if they can't get them to that number, hey, we just feel our guy will be worth more in free agency. Bullshit. You already tested the market in the combine. You know what they want. You know what you could get. So you're trying to, raise your team up to a number. And Christian Wilkins, okay, these are things that you have to understand that the common fan doesn't really, and maybe even the media member doesn't understand at times. Christian Wilkins will also be 29 this year. Christian Wilkins has more mileage on him than any defensive tackle that's available in free agency. Why? Because Christian Wilkins doesn't come off the field, right? That's his Superman cape thing. He's on the field all the time, which is a lot of wear and tear for a guy that's 29 years old. And so it's a lot of money for a guy that you really, I don't feel he's really a great pass rusher. So I'm not paying $27 million to a guy that isn't a great pass rusher. I can't do that. So I completely agree with the Wilkins move. I totally understand. And remember, as I've mentioned in the past, you've got Waddle, you've got Holland, you've got Tua, you've got Jalen Phillips. You've got all kinds of contracts that are going to come up next year. Okay? So you've got to balance all of this stuff. And you got to say, who do you want? Who's going to be more impactful? Who can we replace and find a way? And I love Wilkins' energy. You love the person, right? Because he is electrifying. But he's not the impact player that some people are making him out to be. He's terrific against the run. Well, you kind of lost a little bit of the run this year with him because he was going after the pass. And he went and got some sacks against some really bad teams. And so he was able to beef up that number. It's up to you, however you want to look at it. Fiscally, I think it was the right decision. You cannot pay Wilkins $27 million a year. You can't, dude. You just cannot do that. So for me, I have no problem letting Wilkins go. Now we get to Rob Hunt. And again, they weren't surprised by this. No team is surprised unless there are no negotiations going on and you never talked about anything, then that's fine. But negotiations were going on. So obviously they knew the number was climbing, and you saw all the other guards signing bigger deals than expected. God bless him, bro. Good for Rob Hunt, man. Just like that guy that bought Bitcoin at 2000 and whatever at 30 cents, and he got out at 69,000, right? And he dropped it to 59 or 60, and then it climbed right back up because he dropped a ton of Bitcoin because he bought it back in the day and he was cashing in. God bless him. That's his right. Good for him, dude. You're going to have some corrections along the way because people got to cash out. So that's all good. And Rob Hunt, he had to cash out, man. I don't have a problem with that. So Eichenberg maybe plays guard now. And you get your center back. Maybe you're all right. Or Eichenberg becomes your center and Eichenberg becomes a swing guy, center guard or whatever, and you get another guard. I'm not sure how they're going to do it. Okay. Now, Aaron Brewer, I'm going to stay super consistent on this for those of you that actually listen to the show, not just watch a segment or two, an interview or two here or there on this. What have I told you about linemen? Linemen are very unpredictable. I got a couple texts from two of the teams Kendall Lamb played for last year from a couple guys that I know. He's terrible. Can't play. How'd you see Kendall Lamb? Different, huh? Buddy of mine in New England, Isaiah Wynn can't play. They can't get it done. He was playing fine until he got injured. Right? So Austin Jackson, once the light went on, boom, it's over. Michael Dieter, by the way, actually had a good year this year for the Texans. He might be finding his way now, years later. Just like Kendall Lamb, it's like 8 years in, he had the greatest year of his life. Now, these are things that when it comes to linemen, because I hear all the negative comments, and it's like, this is a fast, athletic lineman. That's what you need in this system. You don't need a big-ass road grader. That doesn't fly in this system. You need guys that can get off blocks, get to the second level, move around. That's what this guy is. So they know offense. Did you not watch the offensive line last year with all the injuries? They at least kept it afloat all the time. They must know something about it, right? So I'm hearing all these people, slam on Aaron Brewer, and it's like, do you know offensive line play? Because I'm not an expert at offensive line play, but I am an expert at watching people do their jobs and say, yeah, that guy deserves the benefit of the doubt. And Butch Berry must have said, no, I want that guy. Durable, by the way, also. Tough guy and athletic. And clearly Butch Berry, just like Weaver, wanted Brook over AVG. Clearly this guy wanted Brewer. And they went and got him. And if it works out at $7 million per year for 3 years, it becomes a joke of a contract. And then instead of slamming Chris Greer, Mackenzie Allen, and Brandon Shore, and all these people in the front office are doing an excellent job, you're going to be eating your words, and you're going to be crediting them because they found a player that they feel fits their system. Okay? Connor Williams actually can play in this system, but he wasn't from this kind of system, right? In Dallas, that's not the kind of system that they run. So, you have to give the benefit of the doubt to the coaches. This is Weaver's defense. This is Butch Berry's line. This is Mike McDaniel's offense. This is Frank Smith's offense. These people must know what the hell they want to do and what kind of players they want. So I'm not going to say a damn thing about Aaron Brewer bad because I don't know that he's going to be bad. All I know is that these guys make anybody pretty much serviceable, and they turn players into good players like Austin Jackson. Like watching Liam Eichenberg play some of his best football until he got injured, and the last couple of games were shit for him, unfortunately. Poor guy was injured on one leg, but people improve under these people. We just talked about Wynn and about Lamb. These guys played their best football under these guys. And we got these, fake ass GMs on Twitter, and the overreaction is just ridiculous. I get it that, part of the media feeds into it and they do their own overreaction. So they lead you guys and you don't think for yourselves. And so now you start overreacting with them. And really, there's no reason to overreact right now at all. The process it just started. We're hours into the process. We're not even a whole day into the process. Oh, by the way, the last couple of years, did Jalen Ramsey happen? Did that happen on the first day of free agency, Jalen Ramsey? Oh, Sean? Did Tyreek Hill happen on the first day of free agency? No, I don't think so, right? No. So it doesn't matter, dude. You don't have to win the offseason all the time. And next year, you got to be prepared because you got a lot of salaries coming up because you see, the NFL wanted Chris Greer's players last night or yesterday. They spent $250 million on Chris Greer's players. And then Chris Greer's got a whole lot of players coming up next year. For the idiots, they can't draft. And it's like, there's stuff that you people come up with that makes no sense whatsoever. We got to allow this entire process to play out. Brandon Jones, God bless him. Did you expect Brandon Jones to get $20 million? Obviously, what counts is what he got guaranteed, but I think it's somewhere in the neighborhood of 10 or something like that, or 12, whatever it is. But the guy's got, a salary that I didn't even expect him to get. The money is crazy because the first day you're overpaying, like we all do in free agency, whether it's the Dolphins or the other 31 teams. Everybody overpays in free agency. And They overpaid for Rob Hunt, they overpaid for Wilkins, and they overpaid for Brandon Jones. And by the way, they took a risk with AVG. It's still a Liz Frank injury. That's not easy to come back from. AVG's a hell of a person, a hell of a worker. So he's got the kind of character that he can come back from this. But it's not going to be that easy either. There is a gamble. Okay? They're taking. And I want to make sure you understand that. And he is 29. So you're talking about a linebacker that's going to play this contract into his 30s. And, you know, you got to hope that that foot really comes back right. You know? Not easy, folks. Not easy. So I would tell you that, oh, and by the way, they reworked Ramsey's deal. Zach Sealer, Alec Ingold, and Durham Smythe to pick up $28.78 million in cap space, along with the Teron Armstead adjustment, which maybe that also helps them too, because maybe the whole thing about, let's shorten this contract or something to give some flexibility to you guys so I could get my money, but you can get out too out of it. So that's actually good too, you know, overall. So they did all of those things. They got cap compliant. They signed their guys if they need to do it. Now the question is, where do they go from here? And, you know, one of, as I've talked about in free agency, two of my things on my wish list is Derrick Henry and Patrick Queen, right? I don't know the Brook thing. I don't know now with Patrick Queen. We'll see. But on the running back side, you start to wonder, Miami is not really tied to a bunch of running backs, right? It's mostly the media, and they'll inquire. But I think one of the problems that they're going to have, even with Derrick Henry, who could get the same amount of money, Miami could offer the $7 million that, who is it that's offering it? Baltimore, the Steelers, or somebody, I forgot who it was that's offering some money to him. Here's the difference, and here's what's there's an issue, I think, with the Dolphins and going after a running back. Running backs are going to turn to you and say, how many carries am I going to get? You have this guy Achane, and you have this guy Mostert. Mostert led the league in touchdowns, and this guy led the league in yardage per play. And, you know, you have two explosive players, and then you have two explosive receivers. And now you're going to add a tight end. Where do I fall here? Because you can't acquire a running back and then all of a sudden turn off Mostert and Achane because the plays are big, right? So this becomes an issue for the Miami Dolphins in luring a running back, because you're not really offering them a ton of money, because Aaron Jones just signed $7 million with the Vikings. After Green Bay cut him and signed somebody else cheaper for a 2-year deal, he went and signed with a division rival for a 1-year, $7 million deal. Super cheap for a really good running, or like an excellent running back in Aaron Jones. An exceptional running back in Aaron Jones. Can run, can catch, $7 million. So he's not getting rich by any means, Derrick Henry. So the one thing that Derrick Henry or Josh Jacobs or whoever else is in free agency or whatever, they're going to sit down and ask, so how many carries am I going to get? And you think about the Dolphins, and there aren't a lot of carries available. You're not going to get 20 carries on this team. You're just not. There's no way you can do it. You know what I'm saying? Because then what the hell do you have Mostert and Achane around? So you got to, that becomes a little bit of an issue for the Dolphins. So maybe Chris Brooks becomes a bigger part, or you draft also another back, a big back or something like that to help you in short yardage. Third day guy or something like that, you know, project type dude. I get now with the first or second rounds. They don't have a third or fourth. So it would have to be in the back end of the draft. But I was thinking about that, and I want you to think about that, because that's a problem. That's a problem for the Dolphins. It's something that you have to think about because players want to know where they stand. You know? So that is my story, and I'm sticking to it. And hopefully some of you are off the ledge a little bit, I guess. If not, I'm sorry. I apologize. Steve Chapman is in the house. Yeah, I wasn't thrilled either, but I understood. Mike Lombardo in. Steven Gonzalez in. Well, I think I answered your Derrick Henry issue. BX, what money did we have? We addressed linebacker and addressed center. I would have liked to find a center in the draft. Oh, well, but if they like Brewer, you know, I'm not going to disagree with them on that, dude. Mascot TD is now gone, according to Finn's rule. Brooklyn Rob is in. AVG probably does not fit Weaver's system. And Wilkins and Hunt got overpaid, something I'm glad we will not do. I will let free agents in the draft play out. Exactly. I got overpaid big time. Brandon Jones, too. Whew, my God, he got some big money. Big-ass money. All right. By the way, Top Gun indoor range. We're going to set up a shooting contest next month. They are at 12015 Southwest 114 Place, folks. They are the largest indoor gun range in Dade County and the largest indoor archery range also in Dade County. They've got self-defense classes for the ladies, English and Spanish. They've got all the top line for any kind of gun that you're looking for, a 6-hour Glock, Smith & Wesson. They've got them all, folks. Safes. It's a great way. If you own a gun, please own a safe. Holsters, all kinds of stuff. Check it out for yourself. They're right there off of Kendall and on the Turnpike and 120th, right when you get off. They're just there to the left, right behind the small shopping center. And Top Gun indoor range, they are absolutely phenomenal. Go see Steve and all the great people out there and tell them that Big O sent you at Top Gun indoor range. Sean, give me 2 minutes here. When we come back, let's do it. David Furones from the Sun Sentinel will join us next right here on the Big O Radio Show.
Welcome to Caneswear. New store, new items, same great experience. Family owned and operated since 2010, Caneswear has the latest merchandise from the Miami Hurricanes, Miami Dolphins, Florida Panthers, InterMiamiCF, and more. Come visit us at our store in Davie on University Drive, just south of 595, or online at caneswear.com. Caneswear, the spot Miami fans shop.
So here's the putting green. See? There you go. Got 2 flags. One was over there where Cutter's Edge Pro. It's not coming out now. Come on. Come on, wind. Give me a little wind. No, unfortunately. But there you go. And this one says Big O here. There you go. So there's my putting green. About, I would say about 25 feet, something like that. I get to practice, have a little fun. See? And then, of course, we got, the bunkers. Got to have the bunkers, man. Got all kinds of bunkers there. You know what I'm saying? So that's a taste of our backyard. There's Maiden right there. Maiden. Bono, how you doing, Bono? Bono. He's a Carolina dog, by the way. These dogs are amazing. Their temperaments are awesome. But there is the Sylvester Palm, which is just beautiful. All right, call my guys, Will and Mike at Cutter's Edge Pro. They will take care of you. Dogs are not included, okay? Can't include the dogs. Those are mine. But the exceptional work, oh, baby. Oh, baby. Yes. Make your home an oasis. CuttersEdgePro.com. Go to their Instagram page, by the way, so you can see a lot of the before and after work that they do. And it is exceptional, baby. This thing's been on here for about 9 months. No grass growing through it or anything like that. Right, Bono? Huh? Bono!
You have a doorbell camera. Now you have a front row seat to your house getting robbed.
They're breaking into my house!
Ooh, there goes the TV. I'm sure it'll turn up at the pawn shop.
No, not the TV!
Just because you can see them, that doesn't mean you can stop them. With Fones, you get 24-hour monitoring, a free home security system, and professional installation. Plus, free doorbell camera, one that'll actually work for you.
Get out of my house!
Get out of the house!
Call 1-800-ALARM-ME.
For over 16 years, EJDConstruction.com has provided South Florida residents quality craftsmanship, accurate project management, and exceptional service. That's why EJDConstruction.com is an A-rated member of Angie's List and the Better Business Bureau. When you're looking for the right custom home builder for additions or home remodeling, please call my friend Eric at 305-433-4843. That's 305-433-4843 for EJDConstruction.com.
There's no need to drive around South Florida wasting valuable time looking for a new or certified pre-owned Acura. Go to the #1 volume sales dealership in the Southeast United States. Craig Zinn's Acura of Pembroke Pines. Purchase with pace and space in a dealership tailored to your needs. From home buying to providing that personal touch. Contact the 2020 Satisfaction Award winner Craig Zinn's Acura of Pembroke Pines. 888-776-5123. That's 888-776-5123. Or visit them at 15601 Pines Boulevard in Pembroke Pines.
When presenting an award to an employee, athlete, executive, or fantasy GM, make sure you call Orvieto's Awards and More. For 35 years, these custom award specialists have been providing plaques, trophies, custom framing, while providing state-of-the-art laser and computerized engraving, UV printing, and glass crystal etching. They do all their engraving and printing in-house for quality control. Call Charles at 305-949-8098 or visit them at orvietosawards.com. Orvieto's Awards and More, where recognition is rewarding.
I think I know what this is. Houston, we have a package. Hello?
No matter where you are, the Sloman Shield home security system guards your home. With next-gen perimeter protection, 24/7 monitoring, and interior motion sensing. And right now, get a free Sloman Shield security system and doorbell camera, all professionally installed, for free.
Shield your world, the Sloman Shield.
More than 62 years of litigation experience handling insurance disputes, Welton Rayom is committed to resolving even the toughest insurance claims quickly. At Welton Rayom, they don't get paid unless you win. They handle complex personal injury claims caused by the fault of another in both state and federal courts. They handle auto, trucking, motorcycle, slip and fall, and bicycle accidents. Call 954-966-4646. That's 954-966-4646. Welton Rayom can help. The viewpoint statements or beliefs expressed on the following program by the host, guests, or callers are not necessarily the opinions of FantasyAccess.com, Media Group Inc. ownership, management, sponsors, or website.
rise, football fans, as the Welton Rayon Miami Dolphins report with David Veronis is in session.
Welton Rayom has more than 62 years of litigation experience handling insurance disputes. They are committed to resolving even the toughest insurance claims quickly. Call them for a free consultation. 954-966-4646. Here's Miami Dolphins insider David Veronis.
All right, there he is after day one in free agency. We got people walking on the ledge and diving right off. Yes. What's up, man? What'd you think?
Well, Big One, I guess I lost a bet to you. I owe you maybe, I don't know, like a 0.1 Bitcoin or something. Because Christian Wilkins is gone. You were right.
That's a lot of money.
I know. That is a lot. All right, we'll cut it down to like 0.01 Bitcoin.
You mean the Christian Wilkins stuff? Oh, bro,
yeah. You were right. Well, you had me. You put it on the record and what my prediction was, so I was wrong. Really, in reality, since you're the host and you're so kind to me, bringing me on all the time, I wanted to make you look good. So
that
was the thought process there on my end.
I appreciate that, my brother, but I think we fortunately, we predict a lot of things that end up happening on the Dolphins here on this show. So that's just one of the many. And what'd you think of that contract? Because one of the things I explained before you came on, he's got more mileage than every other defensive tackle that was available because he doesn't come off the field. He's 29 years old. And as I've said from the get-go, I know he had the 9 sacks, but if you break down the sacks, they were against mostly the bad teams. And his run defense actually suffered a little bit because he was chasing the sacks. To me, it wasn't a contract that was responsible. And I know about what happened last year, that they were apart at that point. And that, to me, that's where it ended. It was done at that point. They weren't ever going to get to a point because they knew what his market was and they knew that it was going to get crazy. And sure enough, it did. So for me, I understand not re-signing him. I think he's not worth that money when you factor in everything and what they have to do down the line, because next year they've got Waddle and they've got Holland and they've got Waddle, Phillips that they're going to make some kind of decision on. And then obviously they still got to do the Tua deal. So they've got a lot of things, on the table, even though some of those deals, including Tua's big number, won't come in till 3 years from now. So, none of the decisions today had anything to do with Tua, because his real big money ain't coming till a couple of years from now. So that's not a big deal. But your thoughts overall on the Wilkins deal?
Yeah, $27.5 million per year is a steep price to pay for Christian Wilkins, and same goes for the contract of Robert Hunt. So the Dolphins, in their cap situation, they weren't going to hit those markers. Now, the reason why it hurts is just how Christian Wilkins was such a foundational piece to this rebuild, as that first draft pick when the Dolphins in 2019 went in that direction to rebuild the rosters, start doing it through the draft, 2019, then 2020 draft and 21, before then shifting to adding all the pieces through trades and free agency, all the big names from the outside. So Christian Wilkins was sort of at the core of starting it internally and building through the draft when the Dolphins were doing that. So then it hurts when you lose those draft picks, those guys that you developed from within. And same goes for Andrew Van Ginkel. And then Brandon Jones was also a draft pick, and Robert Hunt was one. And Xavier Howard and Jerome Baker were drafted by this organization. So it kind of wiped clean a whole range of years where the Dolphins did draft and have drafted fairly well. Now you're going into a situation
whoa, man. Chris Greer can't draft. No, they can. I mean, only his players got, $250 million yesterday. No, but he can't. Yeah, come on. Brandon Jones, bro. Brandon Jones. I did not see that one coming. Holy shit. God bless him, dude. I mean, this, for those people that think he can't draft, I mean, there you go.
Yeah.
Go ahead. I'm sorry.
Yeah. So, I mean, those were that was a core that you built through those drafts. And then now the Dolphins, they were in this all-in mode. And then it sort of feels like it was a half step, like, okay, now back off of it a little bit, because so far it's only gotten us 2 playoff appearances as a 6 and a 7 seed, no playoff wins. There were a lot of injuries that had to do with both of these scenarios, but it sort of felt like a step back, like a cautious approach of not committing fully all in when you were so deep into it. So now it's kind of like, okay, also let's not mortgage the future entirely with these deals. So it wasn't really I was kind of hoping there would be one more year of let's put everything together for the best roster possible in 2024, but also you got to be responsible and know you're not paying Christian Wilkins that and handcuff himself for the future. Robert Hunt, same deal with that contract.
Yeah, no, definitely. And the Rob Hunt contract, I mean, it got out of control yesterday, with the guards. And so I would imagine that if you bring back Connor Williams, he can play guard. And you can keep Brewer at center, or Eichenberg becomes the guard. I don't know how it's going to play out. One of the two. They have some options now. Again, I don't know. Maybe Connor Williams wants to come back and he wants to be a center somewhere else or something. I don't know. But he's not going to have nearly as many options because of the injury.
Right. Yeah, he won't. And he'll have his free agency put on the back burner. So, I mean, that maybe ideally for the Dolphins, that could be settled in June when the Xavier Howard release money hits, and that would be very ideal for Miami. But you have some flexibility now because Aaron Brewer, he's brought in as a center most recently, and also has guard experience, both left and right. So there's a guy who, and Christian Connor Williams, he had to be moved to center from guard, so maybe that's where he would feel more comfortable. And it was always sort of a thing, like he moved to center for this organization. So, and he had the snapping issues intermittently in between. So maybe a return to guard could be good for him. And right now he's just focused on the rehab. But then if months down the line that gets settled, and ideally after June when the Dolphins get that surplus of money, the $18.5 million from the Xavier Howard release, then that could really work out well. So, but also look out for maybe the Dolphins adding another interior offensive lineman in the draft before all that happens.
All right. So Weaver, I would imagine, came into this decision just like Butch Barry did with Aaron Brewer, probably. Do we give AVG the money, or would we rather get a Jordan Brook? And obviously they felt like, let's put that money into Brook instead of AVG. Plus, I didn't want to lose AVG. I'm a huge AVG guy. But I'm thinking Liz Frank, he's going to be 29 years old this year. He won't be ready till training camp. This is a tough decision for the Dolphins to make, and it's a really, really tough decision for Minnesota to make, because you better bank that he's going to come back from that Liz Frank injury. And if he doesn't come back like himself, then that contract's not going to be any good. And I know he's a character guy and he'll work his ass off and all of that. But I thought that when you think about it, at first I hated to lose him. But then I looked at it and I said, okay, the coach must have played a part in this. He must have liked Brook over AVG. Plus, he has a new defense he has to put in. He'll have Jordan Brook every day there to install that. He will not have AVG there. And so all these kind of things I started to weigh in last night, and I said, now I understand what this move is all about, because really there was so much question on the AVG side compared to for Jordan Brook, who's established, proven, and you're getting a really good football player already.
Yeah. Anthony Weaver is really getting full range to build this defense the way he wants it, because it really is, I mean, a lot of the out with the old. So it's, and I mean, the guys that are still around are guys that he can work with no matter what. So, I mean, you have Jalen Ramsey, who he's going to be more willing to move around and utilize better than Vic Fangio. And you have your Javon Holland, you have your Zach Sealer up front. So guys that he knows, Jalen Phillips and Bradley Chubb will be back eventually. But it's going to be interesting to see what they do at that edge position now, because, we were talking about it on this show that Andrew Van Ginkel was such he had to be a priority for this Dolphins team in free agency, just because you don't know what you're going to get out of Jalen Phillips and Bradley Chubb. And if you're ever going to have them to start the season, they probably start off training camp at least on PUP, and then that could even bleed into the start of the regular season. So right now you theoretically what do you have on the edge? So you're going to need to make some moves there, possibly in the draft, and then also maybe a free agent pickup, especially now that you don't have that depth with even when you have JP and Bradley Chubb in there without AVG. But Jordan Brooks, I like the move. I mean, hard hitting linebacker. He's a run stopper. He's more of that traditional inside linebacker. Him and David Long next to each other. That's going to be a stout combination there. So maybe that's the Dolphins sort of a Roquan Smith and Patrick Queen combination. We talked about Patrick Queen at length here, how good of a fit he could have been to be next to David Long and the Anthony Weaver connection. So maybe he's building his own combination there. And interesting to see that he starts at inside linebacker and how to build this defense. When you see all these other positions, cornerback is a premium position, edge rusher, premium position. Dolphins do have their guys there once they're healthy, but to start with inside linebacker, in an offseason where the Dolphins are a little bit strapped for cash, though, but starting there with how he's rebuilding this defense.
I like the Walker guy for depth. Off. I actually think I'm sorry, but he's going to be their best linebacker off the bench. So and all the other guys, I have much respect for Duke Riley and especially his off the field game. Whoa, yeah, Duke Riley. But anyway, no, seriously. And he's such a good dude too, man. God, he's one of the 5 best players to talk to on that team. When it comes to just talking football, Jesus Christ, dude, that guy is just freaking awesome. You know what I mean? But I actually think they improved their backup linebackers by adding Walker. He's going to be their best backup linebacker. That's just me.
And Walker, a great locker room guy in his own right. He's worn the C on his chest in Cleveland, so he's had captaincy there. He's been a Walter Payton Man of the Year guy, so a nominee that for the Browns. He's a Miami guy, so it's going to mean something to him coming back here. Not far from the stadium, playing high school football at Monsignor Pace before going to Northwestern. So smart guy too, Yeah. I'm going to be really interested in talking to him for the first time whenever we do get interviews lined up for that. And a guy who's also communicated to the defense from the inside linebacker position, wearing the green dot in the past. So, Jerome Baker was that guy in the past. So whenever he is in the game, he could do that. But it also makes you wonder what is going to happen to Duke Riley, because the Dolphins, I think the number is $2.5 million they could save with a release of him now. So you add these 2 inside linebackers. You already got David Long there. Duke Riley sort of could be on the chopping block now, similar to how we've mentioned Jeff Wilson in the same light if they add a running back. So those are a couple names now I'd still be looking out for as far as potential cap casualties.
It's when you add these new coaches, things change, bro. Players change, and because some players will fit, some players won't. And it's like the Aaron Brewer thing. We're hearing people, and then, like Titans fans, and people are retweeting Titans fans. Oh, he's terrible. And it's like, and one of the things I've talked about for several years is linemen cannot be measured from one team to another, because I talked to a couple guys last year that told me Kendall Lamb sucks. Okay. And last year, one of my buddies from New England told me Isaiah Wynn can't play. Dante Scarnecchia couldn't get him to play. Well, guess what? He was playing well here. You know what I mean? Austin Jackson turned his entire life around with these guys. So it's like they must see something in Aaron Brewer that fits perfectly with what they do. So let's wait till he actually takes the field, and then we can find out. Maybe he actually has all clean snaps, and he can get to the second level really quickly, like what you need to do in this offense. So let's let it play out first, because linemen are a weird thing. You do know that Michael Dieter had a good year for the Houston Texans?
Yes, he did. Michael Dieter had a good year, and everyone in Miami would have told you that he sucks. And even Connor Williams 2 years ago, Dallas Cowboys fans were pleased to see him walk away. They were so ready to hand him his walking papers. So and Connor Williams fit very well here and making even transitioning positions, and then still needing to fix the snaps. But and then
if you try to predict linemen, you're going to get burned most of the time, because we all have to be honest. We really don't understand exactly what they're seeing, and what I'll give you something I learned 20 years ago at I think it was the East-West Shrine game. So I'm sitting there with an offensive line coach. Actually, I'm standing there because I'm on the fence. No, we're on the sidelines. Right. Yeah. East-West. Back then, yeah, we were right on the sidelines. There was no fence. So I start asking him about the alignment coming into the draft, and I go, what do you see here and this and that? And he goes, all right, initially I got to already work on his eyes. And I go, what do you mean I got to work on his eyes? And he goes, yeah, when he makes an impact, he blinks. I can't have linemen blink when they have contact, because the second they blink, they miss the next twist. Did you know that?
That's and he's talking about a literal blink.
A blink.
Yeah.
A blink.
Yeah.
A fucking blink.
Yes.
And I'm looking at him like, are you serious? He goes, yeah, you damn right I'm serious. I need him to keep his eyes open in the entire contact because I need him to follow the player. And if you brace and you because it's human nature. Yeah. It happens to you. You brace for a car accident. There's a close of your eyes. And he explained that to me. And I'm like, and if you think you know, you don't. You just don't, because they look at everything, hand placement, where their foot is, if their ass is too low, if their ass is too high. Brother, there is a technique to it. And they scrutinize every little thing. A blink, bro. A blink.
A blink. I wonder what drills you put your linemen through to get them not to blink. Like you got to work on some.
That's something you have to make him conscious of.
Right.
That's all it is. But he goes, I got to work on that already.
Yeah.
And so it's like, before we got to the arms too long, short, too long, too stall, fast, slow. He can move to the second level. This guy can only block in a phone booth. All the other things that they start telling you about. But that's the thing. When you start thinking that you don't. You don't. They are looking at it at a completely different level than you and I are. And so that's why I when it comes to linemen, I try to kind of stay away from that prediction stuff because I've seen too many suck in one place and be excellent somewhere else. And it happened. And we've lost linemen that we didn't like. And then they went out and Jerry, he had a decent career after he left us. Billy Hunter, decent career after he left us, actually. So, things like that happen. And sometimes you have a guy in camp and then he's gone and he's shined somewhere else. And that's because he found the right coach and the right scheme, and it goes with his talents. And that's why I'm saying the Aaron Brewer one, brother, pump the brakes. Take it easy. Look what they did last year. They must know something. They must. And by the way, if it does end up hitting $7 million per year for your center, that's a steal, dude.
Yeah, it is. And Aaron Brewer, he'll have some questions in his pass protection, but he's a good run blocker, very agile. So that fits already. Wide zone blocking. He can get out to the outside when they're running that way on the perimeter, get to that second level. So that's the type of center that you need. Some of the other centers, like a Bradley Bozeman, for example, wouldn't exactly fit. He's more of that phone booth. He's not very agile at the position type of blocker. So, it's a great fit when you look at it just from that perspective. And I'm definitely giving offensive line coach Butch Berry his freedom in this move, where he accept who he's bringing in and go ahead and take them to the next level. And it's really the first time in a lot of years, probably the past decade, where the Dolphins have the same offensive line coach for back-to-back seasons. So that's been a revolving door. So, just a continuity from the coaching staff there, and then giving Mike McDaniel and Butch Berry the freedom to go ahead. Yeah, grab the guy that you feel is going to fit. I trust them in that role.
Yeah, no, I'm with you there. All right, so what are you expecting now? Where do you think they're going?
Yeah, now there's still a lot of holes, especially on that defense. So They addressed the inside linebacker starting there, addressed tight end already before free agency with the Jonnu Smith signing. So let's not forget that one, as we kind of now put everything under that happened Monday in a microscope. So I'm looking at, all right, cornerback, safety now, because you already lost Brandon Jones. You still have Deshaun Elliott. So now in the secondary, defensive line, you're going to need to address now, especially with Christian Wilkins finally officially gone. And maybe they built through the draft there, but there's still a lot of holes all throughout that defense and edge defender. So all these spots, eventually you're going to need to lock in your backup tackle, whether that's Kendall Lamb, who is a free agent, or if you find something else better, where you're going to have games where a backup fills in for Teron Armstead there at left tackle. All these
Kendall Lamb is like our Stolars in the Panthers, bro. We can't let go of his ass. We got to bring him back, man.
Lock him up. Lock him up.
With Teron Armstead, you have to have a capable tackle behind him, unfortunately, because Teron Armstead cannot play a full season. Let me ask you on Teron Armstead. They adjusted his contract. I wonder if they made it a little bit more friendly for the Dolphins to get out of it because he was already contemplating retirement. I'm wondering if this is his final year now, and then they kind of rework that deal. Do you know anything about that? Because that's what I'm really intrigued about.
Yeah, I haven't seen anything out there on what the specifics of the contract are, but I would imagine that's got to play into it because it'd be common sense. If he was contemplating retirement this seriously, as it appears, where he took it potentially to this last weekend before free agency, and that was sort of the deadline. Chris Greer was expecting it well before free agency, even when he spoke at the combine. So if it was really as close of a call for him, then maybe he is thinking, it's just, this is my one last dance. This is my Dwayne Wade going out party. He's just playing out this season. So if that's the case, then yes, I would think it's got to be so that they can get out of it easily, assuming that this is his last year.
I wanted Derrick Henry and Patrick Queen. One of the things that I obviously the Patrick Queen one ain't going to work now with the way they made the move now, but the Derrick Henry one, you just saw Aaron Jones get $7 million only, okay, and Green Bay let him go to sign another guy and Cook on a cheaper deal, 2 years per year. I think it was 6 instead or something like that they're paying. They didn't pay a lot. And so running backs aren't getting paid a lot of money. So Derrick Henry is not going to get paid a lot of money. He's not going to get what Josh Jacobs got. Okay. So what they are going to ask, and I think this is the problem with this now and why I won't get my wish. An agent for the free agent says to Chris Greer, hey, we'd love to play in Miami too, but let me ask you something. How many carries is he going to get? You got 2 guys in Mostert and Achane. Those guys, one guy led the league in touchdowns, the other guy led the league in yards per carry. You got 2 receivers in Tyreek and Waddle. You just added Jonnu Smith. How many carries is my guy going to get? And that's a question that the Dolphins are going to look at the agent and go, because it's gobbledygook. It's bullshit. You can't really tell the guy we're going to give you 20 carries because there aren't 20 carries to be had. And so I kept thinking about it, and I'm like, I don't think they're going to spend top notch on a running back because then you're setting your other running backs back. And then you also have a passing game too. And so it just kind of takes it off kilter. And maybe you're hoping for Brooks or a third day guy that you add to kind of add a little more punch to the running game. So what do you think about my thinking on this?
Yeah, that's why I'm not necessarily putting running back among the needs for the team per se, as far as just the positional group, because you have your Mostert and your Achane there. But it's kind of a need as far as just having a power runner for short yardage situations. And if you brought in a Derrick Henry, which would be the most elite option as a short yardage power running back, even at 30 years old, then it would be with an understanding that he's going to be situational here, and it's going to be where you're limiting his snap count, his carries, and also it's going to limit how much you're rotating in Mostert and Achane. So it's really going to be all three of those guys are going to see. I mean, there might be games where none of them are in double-digit carries, and you're still running the ball nearly 30 times in that game. So that would have to be the understanding, and that the contract would reflect as such. And that all the running backs will have roles, and then if one of them gets injured, then someone else's role gets amplified, and et cetera. And that there still have to be a lot of targets that go to Tyreek Hill, Jalen Waddle, Jonnu Smith, and a third wide receiver too. So it would be a very an offense that's just loaded with weapons, but everyone's just got a limited role where they're just expected to fulfill their job for those few opportunities that they get and do it at a high level.
All right. By the way, my prediction, I think we're going to see maybe somewhere on the line, O or D line, and maybe DB next. Something there. I think that's where they're going to be looking for, because kind of the way they're shaping this up. They got some of the other stuff. I think I would not be surprised if I see something along the lines or a defensive back today and tomorrow in free agency. We'll see what happens. What do you got?
Defensive back screams at you right now as far as a position where you need someone.
Big time. What do you got going on in the Sentinel so folks can check you out?
Man, just everything free agency right now. I think I wrote 5 different articles yesterday, along with Perk had another series about Dave Hyde had a column that he put out. So just a lot of content right now and everything free agency. So that's just what my week is. It's just everything free agency.
Are you like, I think Dave is one of those guys. Are you the media member that says, oh, for sure they're going to take a step back this year?
Well, it's not as loaded of a roster is one thing. So it's not as all in as these past couple of years were, especially this past year in 2023. So, I do have a fear that you sort of cautiously take the step back, and then you won't be good enough this year, and then you set yourself up to be better in the future seasons, but then you still won't be good enough in those seasons either. So that's my worry there.
How come everybody that has that or says that, they leave out all the injuries? What about if you're healthy at the end of the year? I think you'll be better than you were this year. How about that?
Yeah, if you're healthy, yes. If you're healthy, if this roster stays healthy, it'll be better than the end of the year roster of the past season. Absolutely.
So it has nothing to do with a couple of players that you lost.
But are you actually going to be healthy then?
Well, I mean, it's been the last 2 years. It hasn't been going up to 25. Okay. For 25 years, it's been incompetence and bad front offices and coaches and quarterbacks and, endless stuff that's gone on. The last 2 years, it's been really injuries and Mike McDaniel's lack of maturity on the sidelines right now. And that's where he has to grow up. So for me, if the Dolphins actually have a little luck, they'll be better than they were the last year because they'll be healthier. That's basically will put you at a much better advantage if you're healthier at the end of the year. Plus the additions you had in free agency and in the draft, maybe they also make an impact. And all of a sudden you could be better than you were last year. To me, it's way too early to determine that this team, when free agency hasn't finished and the draft hasn't finished, how do we predict that? That's kind of crazy. Yeah.
It's just at the starting point when you compare last year to what, and we still don't have the full roster yet this year, but you already know, they're going to be strapped as far as the type of big moves they can make.
Yeah, I'm with you.
But if they have better luck with injuries, they have a better roster for that final run. So it'll come down to that luck for sure. So I get what you're saying there.
Follow him on Twitter at David Furones _ and catch his work here twice a week doing it with our Welt and Rayom Miami Dolphins report. David, we will catch up on Friday, my friend. Appreciate you.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
Welton Rayom, don't forget, call my guys at Welton Rayom, 954-966-4646. Oh, I don't need a lawyer right now. All right, that's great. Save it on the cell phone. You may need it one day. 954-966-4646. They crushed Progressive Insurance when we had a bunch of kids playing Fast and Furious and went through the wall of our house. And they didn't want to pay what they were supposed to pay. And Welton Rayom brought them to their knees, buddy. Okay? And they handle large cases. I told you about this like 8 months ago, a year ago. They were handling a case with like 180 clients. Okay? They take on the biggest companies, so they bring these insurance companies to their knees. So if you're dealing with bankruptcy, homeowner property damage, condo damage, criminal defense, business owner claims, commercial litigation, personal injury, call Jeff Welt right now. Jeff Welt and Daniel Rayom, they know how to get it done. 954-966-4646. Jeff's a big Dolphins fan, a big Canes fan, big local sports fan, and he's a crypto guy now. I orange pilled him, and he is off and running. Good for him. Making money. Welt and Rayom.
This has been another session of the Welton Rayom Miami Dolphins Report with David Furones. At Welton Rayom, they don't get paid unless you win. They handle complex personal injury claims caused by the fault of another in both state and federal courts. They handle auto, trucking, motorcycle slip and fall, and bicycle accidents. Call 954-966-4646. Welton Rayom can help.
All right. Let me go to the chat board to see if we answer some of your questions. Remember, you can make a donation to the show, Cash App or Venmo at Cash Big O Show. That is Cash Big O Show. You can even make a Bitcoin donation to Cash Big O Show and send in any questions, comments, and we will read them. What do you got, Sean?
Mike Gesicki just signed with the Cincinnati Bengals. 1-year deal up to $3.25 million.
Good for him, bro. Good for him. Gets to play with a quarterback. Hopefully the quarterback stays healthy. By the way, Marcus Mariota continues to steal money without a gun and a mask. He signs a 1-year deal with Washington worth $6 million. Jameis Crazy Ass Winston signs a 1-year deal, $8.7 million with the Browns. All right. Let's see what we got here. Jason G. So it's over for the Dolphins. Was it over when the Germans bombed Pearl Harbor? Germans? Forget it. He's rolling. Nice, Jason. Thank you, sir. Let's see. Nico says, none of this is surprising. This is what happens when you draft 12 first and second round picks and sign a lot of high price free agents. Can't keep them all when the bill comes due. Yep. Let's see. Big O, I was referring to the post-bull run, pull back bear market after 2025 yesterday. You think it will only be minimal? Nothing like 68. No, yeah, it'll be minimal. It won't be as bad because we have institutional money now. They're the foundation now. Retail is the one that's been carrying it, and that's why they sell quickly. We sell quickly because, if we get to make a lot of money, we can't keep it forever because we're hardworking stiffs, dude. We live paycheck to paycheck, month to month, brother. I mean, it's different. So, yeah, we cash out. But the institutional people, the rich people, they don't cash out, bro. They don't cash out. They pass it on to their siblings. Cigar Social says, I understand the complicated financials. Oh, however, I really miss AVG, who showed more durability than Phillips. Well, he does have the Liz Frank. I just told you that. He's got to make a comeback from a Liz Frank injury. Let's see. Finn's UK fan club. Morning. Oh, Finn's fans need to calm down. Read some read crazy stuff on social media yesterday. Yeah. Yep. Big O, I respect your hard work, but sorry, I can't get on board with this. Dolphins don't want to overpay their own, but will trade first-round picks and overpay for other. All right, so, Justin, let me ask you something. Do you game plan for Christian Wilkins? Just asking. Be honest now. No one game plans for Christian Wilkins. No one. Do you game plan for Jalen Ramsey? Yeah, you trade for him. Do you game plan for Tyreek Hill? Yeah, you trade for him. Yeah. You pay your left tackle. Yeah, you pay cover corners. You pay number one wide receivers. You pay quarterbacks. You pay pass rushers. The 9 sacks don't make him a pass rusher. It took him his 5th year to get his 9 sacks. He was a 5-sack guy for years. And he got him against all bad teams. So as I've been talking about this it's not the first time. I brought it up to you guys because I was never paying Christian Wilkins last year or this year. So you trade for the people you game plan for. Fuck yeah. Fuck yeah. You ever watch Tyreek out in a route? Is there 2 or 3 guys around him? Bradley Chubb was exactly what you traded for this year until Mike McDaniel did something really stupid and ruined it for this year where the man's going to have to miss some time. But outside of that, Bradley Chubb became the player you traded for, a pass rusher that you have to game plan for. He was forcing fumbles left and right. Justin, do you watch the game? Have you learned what's going on? Can you decipher? Because it's, you know what? It reminds me of the U.S. government. Okay? You know, the idiots we have in place right now. Let me show you. Let me show you something. This is the same thing that goes on. This is the problem that goes on in this world. Okay? You don't, you hear stuff, but you actually don't go by what they say or what they do. It's the actions that tell you everything, ladies and gentlemen. So you got Biden and Warren and Yellen and Gensler and all these morons that we have, you know, running our country. Absolute just brain farts. Okay? So, you know, they have done their damnedest to stop crypto and to stop Bitcoin, and they can't. They can't. It's immutable. It's not controlled by any government. Nothing. And that's what scares them. Because they can't manipulate it and they can't ruin it like they have our money, just like the British are doing to the pound and the Germans to the franc, and everybody else is doing to all their currencies that they're all going to shit. And that's why Bitcoin is climbing. So no matter what they do and they tell you, they put out a graph that tells you Bitcoin's going to $2 million in 2029. But you go ahead and keep listening to Elizabeth Warren, that stupid bitch, that evil bitch, tell you that Bitcoin is dirty and all that when money's dirty. Don't listen to them. Watch what they do. Watch what the richest people in the world are doing. They're buying Bitcoin. Watch what the most powerful people in the world are doing. They're buying Bitcoin. Watch what Chris Greer does, Justin. He pays real pass rushers, not Christian Wilkins. He pays cover corners, not AVG. Okay? He pays tackles, not guards. He got a center for $7 million that they feel is going to be a perfect fit. I mean, some of you keep losing the fact that this is a shrewd team at times. And they're going to make decisions that they're still going to maximize, but they're going to do it with less money. Like when they found Ogba the first 2 years and they got a bargain. Unfortunately, when they gave him the contract, he got an injury and, you know, whatever. And then you change defenses and then, you know, the rest is history. But what I would say to a lot of you out there is learn to actually watch what people are doing, not what they're saying. Watch what the Dolphins do. They tell you what they want to do. All you got to do is follow it, man. That's all you got to do. Follow what they say. Well, I mean, follow what they do, not what they say. The U.S. government has got Bitcoin going to $2 million in 2029. And they're tracking it because these assholes just want to tax people tax the crap out of everybody. Because that's what Democrats do. And again, I jam Democrats and Republicans. So screw both of you. Don't get bent out of shape or whatever. Because when I slam Trump or whatever, you always Trump people are just like really just, at least I give, what I give Democrats credit for? They're not inspired by Biden. They don't go defending him. They're not dumb enough to do that. At least the Democrat friends I talk to. Some of my Trumpy friends, yeah, they're stupid enough to defend that guy. So there's, that's the difference right there. But I don't like either side, just in case. Just to remind you, okay? I bury both. Once you learn about Bitcoin, you will bury both. You will never be a Democrat or a Republican ever again. Just learn about Bitcoin. Learn about money. Learn about it. Learn what our government is doing. No matter which one takes over, blue or red, mule or elephant, they're a disgrace, all of them. Okay? So I just want to make sure I put it out there because we have too many idiots that get all bent out of shape, especially the Trumpies. Big O, did we get Bobby Wagner 2.0? Yeah, I love Jordan Brook. I think he's a terrific player. That's a good one right there. Let's see. Big O, stop. You're making too much sense and you're hurting people's feelings. Big O, Kyle Krabs, Locked on Dolphins, said Brewer will be awesome in this system. Kyle watches tape. He gets it. He gets it. He's one of those tape geeks. He gets it, dude. Eichenberg, like Brewer, undersized and was being pushed back into the quarterback immediately after the snap, collapsing the pocket. Eichenberg was on one leg. So it's all right. Let's see. The problem is a lot of fans focus on PFF grades. Yeah, I've already told you that's one of the biggest scams there is in the world is Pro Football Focus. One of the biggest scams in the world. And we got a lot of stupid and lazy media that just use that as a crutch. Really, really bad. Really bad. Let's see. Greer should not be drafting for the Dolphins next year. I know. Yeah, his draft picks brought in $250 million yesterday. Yeah, and he's got like 5 other guys that were drafted, and he's got to sign them by next year. Yeah, no, it's terrible. It's terrible. Some of you people are just stupid. Just want you to know that, okay? Eduardo Docampo, eres un idiota. ¿Me entiendes? Puro idiota. Anyway, they lead the league, but when we needed them most, Hurt Henry will change the trajectory of this offense just like you want him to, Big O. Problem is, Henry, depends on if he wants to play for a winner or does he also want, he wants to be a part of the winner. And so I guess he has never been just a compliment. He's always been a guy that, has been the centerpiece. So maybe he wants to still be a centerpiece of an offense. And if he goes to Baltimore, he'll run like crazy because the quarterback, you have to run in that offense. You need a bunch of running backs. Radio host, enjoyed the recap. Thank you for breaking it down. We try, my brother. Let's see. Big O, do you think Miami made... That's another misconception out there. He wanted $25 million last year. Okay? He wanted Quinnen Williams money last year, and he did not deserve it. I wasn't giving him 25 last year and not 27, and that's the other misconception that's out there, that one person repeats it after another, and you all sound dumb and misinformed. Well, if they would have paid him last year the 25, we wouldn't have that problem. They weren't paying him 25. They don't feel he's worth 25. I don't feel he's worth 25. You people aren't understanding the Christian Wilkins situation. They did not want to pay him. They don't think he's worth this kind of money. They think they've gotten the mileage they've gotten out of him, and they're moving on. And by the way, if he fails in that contract, I will never hear from any of you again. None. None of you will ever come back and say, you know, I was wrong about Wilkins. You never say it. So that the beauty of it, like I tell all of you all the time, nobody's tracking a goddamn thing you're saying. So you could go out and say whatever you want because nobody's going to follow up on it. So knock yourselves out because you certainly aren't going to be man enough or woman enough to then admit that you were wrong. Because when Aaron Brewer works out, you're not going to say anything. Oh, but undersized and he can't hold pass blocks and this, that. He's in a different offense, different scheme, different coaches. You don't know what's going to happen. The guy may end up being a Pro Bowler by the end of the year. And we're like, holy shit, they got a Pro Bowler for $7 million. But you won't ever come back to say, oh, no, this is not happening. So I know how this game is played. I've been doing it for 34 years. Most of you are a bunch of phonies. You'll never admit it when you're wrong at all. And you'll disappear like cowards. It's kind of the way it is. When Tua's balling, you're all hiding like cowards. Something goes wrong, you come out of the woodwork. It's amazing. Happens all the time, dude. All the time. All the time. Lenny Pena, when it comes to free agency, some fans focus on PFF grades instead of watching what players do in the actual games and what scheme best fits for them. That's why you got to have patience, dude. Got to have patience. And right now, overreacting on what went on in one day, and I thought they bounced back actually all right. I love the Brooks move. I really do. And Aaron Brewer must be a perfect fit for what they want to do. By the way, he's been very durable. And I love the Jonnu Smith move. He's a terrific pass catcher. This guy out in the open field is a cat. Let's see. Big O, it seems our O starts hot and then teams figure us out. No, they were injured, bro. You guys got to stop with that. It's more McDaniel not figuring us out. It's McDaniel not making the right calls, dude. Not sticking to the run when you're supposed to. Things like that. Has really nothing to do with that. And they were injury riddled the last 2 years. Completely. It's too many of you are making it out to be something that it really isn't. Let's see. What do we have here? I like Jordan Brooks signing. He's a tackling machine. A very good signing by Greer. Damn, my bad, Big O. I thought you wouldn't read my comments, so I sent it as a super chat. My bad. Well, thank you. Why wouldn't I read your comment? You're a good dude. Where's Dalvin Cook? The Dolphins are about to give him a $15 million deal for 1 year. Big O, just stop with the political disclaimer. Anyone who parks their feelings inside a political box is half blind anyways. Americans are for the people, not parties. Yeah, but unfortunately, Emilio, we got a lot of suckers in our country. And they get suckered by Democrats, and they get suckered by Republicans, and they get suckered in their stupid little culture wars. And they're not very smart, and they follow some of the dumbest candidates in the world. Maybe most of them aren't educated enough to actually know how dumb the guy they're following is. So I gotta say it because people aren't very smart, bro. You know, and they think, oh, he's a Dem. Oh, he's he's Republican. He's Latin. It's like, you're both idiots. I'm an American, and I don't care about Republicans or Democrats. I really don't, because they don't care about Americans. They care about their own crap. and their own wallets. That's all they care about. That's why Warren can get rich and AOC dresses with, $10,000 outfits and all these people are just cashing in left and right. And the rest of us struggle every day. So give me a break. The Dolphins offered Christian Wilkins around $18 million. I think that was about $4 million too short. Yeah. Where are you getting that number? Gordon says, I like the linebacker signings. What do you think they'll do to address the issue at edge? Who can hold down the fort until Chubb and Phillips return from injuries, draft, and free agency? I think they will. My prediction right now, I think you'll see something along the lines, D or O line or defensive back. Those are the three areas that I think you're going to see next the Dolphins try to address, because they've got to beef up a little bit there. So we'll see what happens. But I think you need to understand what they're doing and how they go about business. And they're not going to bend over backwards for a guard. They will for a tackle. They probably won't bend over backwards for a safety that isn't named Holland. But they will for Jalen Ramsey and for X. They're going to pay shutdown corners. They're going to do that. They're going to pay their quarterback. They're going to pay their left tackle. That's what they do. Number one wide receiver, they'll trade for it. Now, and they drafted one. So in 2 years, Tyreek's gone, and then Waddle gets elevated to number one, and his big ass salary's kicking in. Because he'll come into a contract next year, but it'll be a low number. And then the next year it'll be a decent number. And then the third year it'll be a brutal number. So we're a few years away from that kicking in, but it'll be after Tyreek is off the books with a big ass number. Get it? That's how it's played. And they'll pay Waddle. That's why it was funny to hear people actually parrot Mike Tannenbaum. Are you out of your mind? Come on, man. Are you out of your mind? You're not going to trade Waddle. Anyway, so it just, man, watch what they do, not what they say. It's pretty much tells you what they're all about. That's why I gave you the example that I saw at the White House and Bitcoin. It's like, don't listen to them and how they dish. Everyone in the government knows that it's the future. They can't fight it. They can try, but they're going to lose, and they already have. But it's not what they do. I mean, it's not what they say, it's what they do. So, anyway, let's see. Was worried about Brewer being undersized, 6'1", 274, until I looked and saw Dwight Stevenson was 6'2", 255. Well, that's a different era, too. They're bigger now. But he's an athletic guy. So he's tough. He gets off blocks quickly, gets to second level. You need an athletic center in this offense. Losing Wilkins and Hunt is what happens when they trade for Tyreek, Chubb, and Ramsey. We knew this was coming. Yeah. The Hunt one, I got to admit, I didn't think the money was going to go that crazy. What do you got, Sean?
There was talk of the Bengals releasing Joe Mixon.
Oh, they did, didn't they?
They are not releasing him. They are trading him to the Texans now. So that's per rap sheet. So okay. It's like Joe Mixon on his way to the Texans with C.J. Stroud.
All right. Yeah, man, you got to get a running game, man. Got to have a running game for quarterbacks. Let's see. Emotional connections is what is used to control you, even in football chats. Hater, none of us even know the guy on a personal level, and we usual emotions to describe your outlook on someone's play. That's how the game is played, Lofi. Whatever happened to the rumors about Tyreek's extension? I thought that was no, that's just media crap that's thrown out there. If anything, you don't want to extend Tyreek. You don't want to guarantee any more money because you need to get out of that contract in 2 years. Devin says, Big O, I was completely wrong about Hunt getting a huge contract on the open market. You were completely wrong? Or you were completely right? Because he got a huge contract, bro. I didn't see that coming. I did not see $20 million a year. I was like, wow. Holy crap. Damn. The Dolphins make me cry, says Drew, like Hootie and the Blowfish. Boy, betting on yourself paid off for the players this year. Unfortunately, the guys we would like to lock up might just bet on themselves regardless of what we offer them. Yeah, I think they show their priorities. Yearly man, it's your birthday. Happy birthday, Yearly man. May you celebrate many more, my friend. Luis Guillermo says, with the players we had, we never won a postseason game. We have to change players to see what happens. Saludos, Big O from Venezuela. Thank you, Luis. Appreciate you. And thank you for watching all the way in Venezuela. Yes, Sean.
Friend Jordan Schultz is reporting. Free agent pass rusher Shaq Barrett tells me he's signing with the Dolphins.
Did somebody just say D-line and O-line and cornerback they're going for? Okay. So they got a pass rusher.
Yes, that is per Jordan Schultz. He says that he has been told by Shaq Barrett that he's signing with the Dolphins.
Okay. All right. Well, let's look into Shaq. Okay. Here we go. Shaq Barrett. Bucks linebacker, 6'2", 250. It's probably a short-term deal because he's 30. Let's see. 16, 15, 15, 8, and 16 games played or started in the last 5 years. So obviously a durable player overall. Had 4.5 sacks last year at linebacker. Okay. Good rotational guy. Okay. That'll be like the kind of guy that you will use as a rotation once you get Phillips and Chubb back. So Shaq Barrett will kind of help you a little bit in that area. That's not a big money free agent, but it's a solid free agent, an experienced free agent too, on top of all of that. So you got a guy that has some experience and has had success in this league. I like it. Yes, that's an AVG replacement. Yes, Giovanni. Exactly. That's what they did. They basically replaced him. So I would figure that D and O-line are still kind of being, worked on, and then corner would be something, because and pass rusher is something that they needed because of Phillips and Chubb and the injuries early on with them. So I like this. Shaq Barrett. It's probably a 1-year deal, something like that. I don't think it's more than that. So that's not bad. And by the way, he's healthy and he'll be there for the implementation of the new defense right from the get-go, which I think is very, very important overall for Weaver. Okay. What else do we have here? Super V says, good morning, Big O. Personally, I think the Dolphins are trying to acquire players who are more physical, in my opinion. Maybe. Brook is a physical linebacker. Shaq is a physical linebacker. So, yeah. Walker's a tough kid. I like it. Yeah, that might be there. You might be onto something. Had a little toughness because you had more finesse at linebacker with Baker, although Baker had that hit, dude, in the playoffs and he was injured and everything. Jesus Christ, that was a wicked hit, dude. Was it a 4th down? Wasn't it a 4th down that Baker hit? I want to say, right? For a guy not considered a physical linebacker, that's as physical as it gets right there. That was clutch. So it's hard for me to say this, but, yeah, maybe you're getting a little bit more physical. Maybe. That might be it might be also something in Weaver's DNA as a coach. And it's what he wants in certain players. Let's see. These signings on defense have me hoping we will be more physical. Well, let's hope so. Trust the process, says Luther Small. What we have to do is let it play out before we judge it. You can't judge it after a couple of hours. You know, it doesn't make sense. Yearly Man says it's a big birthday. Last year I fell off a lawnmower on 2 weeks before my birthday and sustained a traumatic brain injury. I'm doing much better now and thankful to be alive. Wow. I'm glad you're all right, my man. I'm glad you're headed in the right direction. Blessings. Happy birthday, my man. Very important birthday for you. Jesus. Although I once you get to a certain age, I don't know how old you are. For me, whew, every birthday now, it's going to be 5'8" coming up, man. You know, if I can get there, wow, that is a blessing. That is a blessing. Every day is a blessing. Every single day you get to open your eyes, it's a blessing. Defense gets pushed around by Baltimore, the Bills types teams. Got to get bigger, stronger. Yeah. No problem with the shout out, Yearly Man. I appreciate your support, which is what's important for Sean and myself, is that you all support us. Let me give you our 3A Graphics sports calendar. Why don't we? Remember, you can make a donation through Cash App or Venmo at Cash Big O Show. That is Cash Big O Show, Cash App or Venmo. And you can always make a Bitcoin donation. That's the donation that continues to give all the time. The 3A Graphics sports calendar. Alan Blanco and the great people there at 3A Graphics. Custom printing and embroidery for your club, your company, your event, whatever it is that you need. Call the people at 3A Graphics. Tonight, 8 o'clock, Panthers and the Stars at the Amerant Bank Arena. 8 o'clock face-off. Florida's got 92 points. Boston in second place with 91. Vancouver has 91 points on the western side. Dallas, who they play, has 89. So this is an important game. Keep the Stars down. Keep some distance from Boston. You got to keep winning, baby. That's what it's all about. Now we got a scoreboard watch for the number 1 overall seed. Wednesday, by the way, the Heat will take on Denver, and also InterMiami in CONCACAF Champions Cup play Wednesday, 8:15 against Nashville at Chase Stadium. That is your 3A Graphics sports calendar. All right. Good stuff, as always. Let's see. What else? You keep me calm, Big O. Well, we just try to give you, what's actually going on, dude. We don't need to sell you, drama when there isn't any. We don't sensationalize it. That's just not who we are, So hopefully tonight we'll be lighting up a Perdomo cigar as the Panthers defeat the Stars. So we need a little victory cigar. Give me a victory cigar because, Bitcoin is up there holding at 72,000 now. Let's give Bitcoin a victory cigar. And you know what? I got to have some fun at somebody's expense. So I had some loser last week. I think it was last week. It was about 7-8 days ago. 9 days ago. Van Chain is something that I've talked about. VanRy is the acronym, VANRY. They're a gaming DeFi platform and they have staking and all kinds of stuff. And they cut a deal with Google. And I talked about them. I talked about them when they were just under 6 cents. 5.5, 5.7, 5.8, 5.9, 6 cents, right around there. I turned on a lot of you to VanRy. Whether you got on VanRy or not, some of you did, because when I've posted the updates, notice it's between 5 and 6 cents, I said. Right now it's at 26. From 5 to 6 to 26. So about a week ago, whatever it was, it went up to like 12 or 14, right? And I was, bragging because, they're going to bury you when you're wrong, right? But, crypto, I've been on fire. I mean, like, talk about blessings, okay? So the guy, shitcoin, this, that, whatever. And clearly he doesn't know anything about it, just like the Bitcoin idiots. So then a couple days later, it pumps again to like 15, 16. So I went back to my tweet before to see if, the guy, he must have kept up with it because he went and erased his tweet. Cowards. When you're wrong, you're cowards. And you run and hide. Wussies. So now it's up to, it was 27 cents just a little bit ago. It's 26.6 now. But I mean, it has pumped. Where a buddy of mine said today, a friend of mine that got into it, he goes, dude, I'm 5X. So it's like, come on, man. If you don't know something, just don't comment on something you don't know about. And at least with Bitcoin, it's all over the place. People hear about it. And okay, so you want to be stupid and say, oh, it's a scam and you don't know anything about it, fine. But Vanguard chain, like, who the hell knows about that? You got to be so hardcore into this to even know about Vanguard chain. Okay, because nobody's talking about it. It's like injective protocol. When I gave it to you guys back in August of 22, nobody knew about injective protocol. Nobody was talking about it. Now, obviously, over the last year, since it's blown up to $40-something, and we gave it to you at $1.40, $1.34, I think it was actually. Now they're talking about it left and right. So it's just funny, man. I was just tripping out, and I saw Van R blow up again this morning, and I was like, and I'm remembering that guy, and it's just funny. It just is. Social Derek. We just talked about Shaq Barrett, my man. We just talked about it. And by the way, for Social Derek out there, okay, for you newbies out there in crypto, all right, I've done this before. I'm going to do wait a minute. What do you got there, Sean?
I believe you keep calling him, isn't it SoCal, Derek?
Yeah, but it is SoCal.
Okay, you keep saying social, Derek.
Oh, I said social. SoCal, Derek. Sorry. SoCal, sorry. SoCal, Derek. I've done this a couple of times, but he asked, and I told him, go back to, remember our podcasts. Every time I talk crypto, Sean makes it a segment on the audio podcast, not video. And so you can go to iTunes, Spotify, Stitcher, Google Play, iTunes, iHeart, whatever it is you use, Amazon. We're all there. We're in every one of them. And then you can find all the crypto segments, and they're all there. Okay? But just to talk a little bit for you newbies, it is not too late to get into crypto. Okay? By the way, I have good news. Starting next week, okay? The crypto show will go on about 3-4 times a week, and it's going to go on right after the show. So when I'm done, we'll shut down, and then we'll restart again with a crypto show. It'll be about a half hour, 40 minutes. It'll be a short show. But we're going to do it several times during the week instead. So be prepared. It'll be this show, and then it'll end, and then we'll start the crypto show. Okay? So that's how it's going to be. We'll do back-to-back shows. But anyway, for you newbies out there, man, listen, open up an account on Kraken, on Crypto.com, on Binance. Get a Tangem wallet or a Trezor Model T wallet, one of the two. If you get the Tangem, make sure you get the one with the 3 cards. Why? Because you buy off exchanges and then you move them to your cold storage wallet. And then what you got to do is, okay, now remember, if you're buying Bitcoin and you bought $10 today and you bought $40 tomorrow and you bought $100 next week, and then you don't want to move just $140. You want to build it up to a certain amount and then move it. Okay? Because you're going to pay a gas fee, and that'll take away from your profits every time. Now, a tip for you, Cash App is a great way to avoid the gas fees. You get a fair price on Bitcoin. And if you open up a Cash App account, you can buy your Bitcoin there. And then when you can send it to your cold storage wallet, and they have 3 options, priority, a second priority, and then a third priority that is like 24 hours, up to 24 hours, and it's free. So you don't even pay any gas fee. So it's actually pretty cool. So that's another way to do it. Now, the way you learn to use the crypto.com website or the Binance website or the Kraken website or the Coinbase website, open another one in Coinbase. Make sure you have all the exchanges that you can open up on. So you have options. So if there's, when there's this big run with Bitcoin, have you seen how Coinbase shuts down? So you want to have a Kraken or you want to have a crypto.com, you want to have a Binance that you can lean onto. Tangem you can buy there too. Okay? You could just buy your Bitcoin there on Tangem and that's it. You don't even have to do anything else. You'll pay a little bit of gas fee, but that's all right. You're going to pay gas fee when you buy it everywhere else, so might as well do it there and you don't have to move anything. Just buy it on your Tangem wallet. And they sell it at the fairest price that's out there is sold on Tangem wallet. The Exodus wallet is another one too. These are custodial wallets. Custodial wallets give you 12 words. Make sure you save your words because that is your key. Okay? Can't lose your keys because you won't be able to get into your account. So make sure you save your keys. All right? Go to YouTube. Learn Binance, how to use the Binance website and buy crypto. Crypto.com website, how to use it. YouTube. And then learn how to move your coins from Binance or Kraken or Crypto.com or Coinbase to your Tangem wallet, to your Trezor Model T. You'll find that video on YouTube. Moving crypto from Binance to Tangem. Same thing. And then use the Kraken to Tangem. Kraken to Trezor Model T wallet. That's it. And then those videos will come up and now you can follow it. And that way you can learn how to use it, how to buy, how to move, all that kind of stuff. Okay? It's a 1-year deal worth up to $9 million for Shaq Barrett. Okay? So, but I thought because some people think that, if you don't do well with one player, then the agent's going to hold it against another player. No, they don't do that, bro. If Drew loses a player on the Dolphins, he'll add another player somewhere else. You can't burn bridges. You have to be a professional. They have their work to do. You have your work to do. And everything has to be respected for what decisions they make, whether they decide to pay or not pay. And eventually those decisions end up becoming right and wrong as years go on. So that's why you can't overreact to that kind of stuff. So there you go. You get Shaq Barrett on a 1-year deal to help you out and help out while we have Phillips and Chubb getting healthy. The Drew, Big O, you're very intelligent. That is very impressive. Yeah, I fooled you. Definitely not intelligent. SoCal Derek, see you in May Finlaw. Fins Up SoCal Fan Club Picnic. NorCal reaching out to SoCal. Fins suck in the cold weather. They need to work on that. Shaq Barrett to Fins beast mode pass rush. If you lose your real keys, don't put your money in one. That's right. But you shouldn't lose your real keys. By the way, where is that? I thought I had it here. Aha. I just got one of these, okay? And I want you guys to, if you're a crypto person, you see this? It's called the crypto tag, okay? This is a steel wallet. And you implement your passwords in this. It's fireproof, waterproof, everything, because you write your passwords on a paper. Well, that can get burned and water can damage it. And so, you always want to keep it, in a safe or something. But this you can save your keys and your combinations and your passwords. Even if you're not a crypto person and you want to save your important passwords to things, get one of these things. It's called a crypto tag. Okay. And this allows you to put in important passwords and you save them and put it somewhere, put it in your bank deposit box or somewhere in your house, hide it or whatever. But even if your house burns, that will not. There's a way around everything to protect yourselves and be smart about it. Crypto tag is a way that you do that. Okay? This costs $99. But if you're protecting thousands, or maybe some of you out there, millions, like Sean Stanley, of course, millions, then what's $99? I'm looking. I just look out for you guys here. That's all I do. I make you money. I give you the best Dolphins information that exists on the planet. And we make you money, dude. We make you money. Sports, crypto, season tickets with Messi. I mean, I don't know, man. I mean, how many examples are there? It's endless. How much money I make you people and protect you. Anyway, do you think we needed Henry? Yes, I do think we need a power running game, but I kind of, when thinking about everything, I kind of figure what's going on here, and I think that's been a problem for them, unfortunately, my man. So that part sucks, but I would love Henry here. And Shuggy Wuggy, by the way, thank you for the love on the super chat, my man. Very nice of you, sir. Thank you. Remember, Cash App or Venmo at Cash Big O Show. That is Cash Big O Show, Cash App or Venmo. And, of course, you can always make a Bitcoin donation. All right. I don't understand how Weaver can pass up on his dude Queen and grab Barrett because, well, the money's a lot different, bro. Patrick Queen is going to get a lot of money. So they probably weren't in that neighborhood and they weren't willing to pay. They're also going to be smart in certain areas. And I guess they felt like with Jordan, they get the player that they need. And eventually with Shaq Barrett, he becomes a complementary player when you get Chubb and Phillips back. But because Chubb and Phillips will not be themselves until probably next year, right? You're going to need Shaq Barrett to kind of, help you and use a rotation there. But I love the fact that they were able to bring Shaq Barrett in. I think Shaq Barrett, Jordan Brooke. I like Anthony Walker. I think that's your best backup linebacker now. And I think they needed help at linebacker. I like Duke Riley. I don't like him at linebacker. It's the whole Larry Izzo thing. Freaking love Larry Izzo. Never wanted his ass on the field as a linebacker. Special teams, locker room guy, all that kind of shit, practice guy. Bro, he's exceptional. But he had to be your last linebacker, and you pray you never want to see Larry Izzo on the field. Ever. Terrible linebacker, but exceptional. Hall of Famer at special teams. I don't think he'll ever make it to the Hall of Fame, but, he was great on special teams. Beast. And to me, I like Duke Riley at linebacker. I don't think he is the answer. And so when he comes off the bench, I just feel there's a big drop-off with Walker. It's not nearly as bad. So, I want your thoughts and this opinion. Do you think the Finns made a mistake by not re-signing? Why don't you rewind and listen to the beginning of the show, my man? It's all addressed there in the first 25 minutes of the show. Everything's addressed there. And then you might want to listen also to the interview with David Furones, because there's a lot of education there in the first hour. And so we give it all to you there. You know how it is. We don't repeat segments. We don't repeat things here on the show. We're in a digital world. You can go back and watch and listen and watch replays. You know what I mean? So watch the beginning of the show. It's all there. Henry slow as fuck. Dumbest shit I've ever heard in a long time. Who said that? Who said that? Because Henry's not slow. Henry's he's lightning, bro. Have you watched that man in the open field? He still is in great shape. He still can fly. He can outrun people in the open field. Once he picks up steam, you rarely ever catch the guy. Have you ever noticed that? No, dude. Once he gets out in the open field, he runs. I don't know. I'm with you, ripping that idiot. Okay, I'm with you on that one, Ronnie. I don't know who said it, but he's a moron. What do you think has been the biggest surprise in free agency? Rob Hunt. Rob Hunt for me, for our team, that is. Okay. Maybe the Carolina thing that they got rid of Banks, which I didn't understand. That was weird. Pass rusher, bro. Wow. I would be very pissed at the front office if they got rid of Banks. But that's not what Greer does. He pays those kind of guys. That's what he does. You know? Yes. R.I.P. Eric Carmen. Raspberries and Solo. All by myself. Passed away at the age of 74. That glorious hair of Eric Carmen. By the way, since you led me to Eric Carmen, let me give you a little music notes here. And then we'll get back to a little Dolphins talk. Where are we at here? So, in honor of the great Eric Carmen, the prolific singer and lead vocalist of the Raspberries, passed away on Monday. His wife, Amy, announced her husband's death in a statement. It is with tremendous sadness that we share the heartbreaking news in the passing of Eric Carmen. Our sweet, loving, and talented Eric passed away in his sleep. Over the weekend, it brought him great joy to know that for decades his music touched so many and will be his lasting legacy. Please respect the family's privacy as we mourn our enormous loss. So I did not know this. I know All by Myself and Never Gonna Fall in Love Again, and I know all the stuff he did with the Raspberries and all that kind of stuff. I'm a big fan. I have Raspberries music and all that, so I'm good. But Carmen resurfaced in the mid-'80s to assist with songs for soundtracks to Almost Paradise for Footloose, which is the song that Anne Murray and Wilson and Mike Reno from Loverboy sing, which is a great song, Almost Paradise. I did not know that he was part of that song. And Hungry Eyes for Dirty Dancing, obviously. So, there you go. Carmen released a new song over 15 years ago called Brand New Year. It was part of a best of compilation that he dropped in 2014. He also delivered 2 live albums in 2017, Live on the Sunset Strip and Pop Art Live. So 74 years old, the legend that is Eric Carmen passes away. Judas Priest, by the way, kicked off their Invincible Shield tour in Europe. They have not announced any U.S. dates yet, which they're going to come to the U.S., but they did an 18-song set to open up in Glasgow. So if you're a Priest fan like I am, I'll give you the set list once this stupid shit stops refreshing and I can actually read it. Here we go. Panic Attack, Rapid Fire, You've Got Another Thing Coming, Metal Gods, Lightning Strike. Okay. My luck, right? It refreshed right up to that point, and then it stopped. And all I got were 5 songs out of the 18. I really need a new iPad already. This one's like 4 years old, but I use it so much, and it's already the processor is just not working the way it used to work, in other words. So then there's delays like I'm having now, just so I can. It's a very good set list, by the way. They do play my favorite song of all time for Priest. It's funny, my favorite Priest song ends up becoming a remake. That's just weird, man. So the Green Monalishi with the two-pronged crown is my favorite Judas Priest song. You know what, bro? It just, this is brutal, bro. I'll do it on this one, and it'll pull it up like right away. Like I just pulled up the website and I just clicked in the thing and it's already pulled up. I'm telling you, the processor in this one's gone. Anyway, Panic Attack, Rapid Fire. You've got another thing coming. Metal Gods, Lightning Strikes, Love Bites, Breaking the Law, Saints in Hell, Trial by Fire, Turbo Lover, Invincible Shield, Beyond the Realm of Death, Victim of Changes, Screaming for Vengeance, The Green Monalishi with the two-pronged crown, Painkiller, Hellbent for leather, and Living After Midnight, Rocking to the Dawn, Loving till the morning, then I'm gone. They're doing 2 songs from the new album, Invincible Shield. I got to tell you something. The album's all right. It's not as good. Firepower is excellent. The album before, wow, they hit on that one. That's the best album they've had in years, dude. Firepower is an excellent album. This one was all right. I heard it already. I heard it twice. It's all right. It's not bad, but I hold you to a higher standard. So I say no. What else do we have here? No Powerball winner, just so you'll know. So we've got a new Powerball on Wednesday, ladies and gentlemen. It'll be worth an estimated $559 million after no players matched it on Monday. The numbers were 1, 3, 7, 16, and 66. I definitely would have played 66 because that's the year I'm born. So I always play that. I would have gotten that one for sure. I still wouldn't have won, but hey, we'll take it. The Powerball jackpot reset after one player in Grand Blanc, Michigan won $842 million drawing on January 1st. The Powerball jackpot previously reset after one player in Fraser Park, California won $1.73 billion Powerball on October 11th, which was the second largest drawing in the game's history and second largest in the U.S. One player in California had previously matched all 6 numbers to win $2.04 billion on November 7th, the largest jackpot offered in the U.S. lottery history. According to the official Powerball website, Powerball has had jackpots exceeding $1 billion 4 times. So $532 million on Wednesday, ladies and gentlemen. Are you ready for that? All right, let's go to a little music history. Today, March 12th, in music history, in 1969, Paul McCartney married Linda Eastman in London. His best man was his brother, Mike McGear McCarthy, and none of the Beatles attended the ceremony. A couple years later, Paul and Linda would form Wings. In 71, the Allman Brothers performed a show in New York that would live on as part of the classic double LP Live at the Fillmore East. In 88, on this date, Korn sent a cease and desist demand to an assistant principal of a Michigan high school who suspended a student for wearing a Korn shirt. The paper demanded the principal, her school, and its school district stop making defamatory comments about the band and refrain from stating that they have personal knowledge that Korn's music intends to be insulting to the listeners of the band's music. Adults, right? So silly. In 16, Iron Maiden's personal Boeing 747 collided with the tow truck while grounded at Santiago, Chile. Neither the band nor the crew were on board at the time of the crash, but 2 ground crew workers were injured and the plane was badly damaged. The plane is here, by the way. We have the plane in our studio. Just so you'll know. Blink-182 drummer Travis Barker broke his right foot while getting onto the band's bus in Australia. The injury forced the group to cancel their planned tour of the continent, as well as some gigs in Japan and Hawaii. And in 83 on this date, U2 scored their first UK #1 album with War, which went on to spend a total of 147 weeks on the chart. That is what happened today in music history. Some birthdays today. Too many TikTok stars. Too many YouTube stars. Don't even know who the hell they are. Danny Jones, by the way, guitarist for the rock band McFly. He is celebrating a birthday today. He is 38 years old. Let's see. James Taylor, the legend, is 76 years old. Liza Minnelli is 78 years old today. Mecole Hardman, Super Bowl game-winning touchdown, 26 years old today. Marlon Jackson, one of the Jacksons, 67. Mitt Romney, 77. And that's it. Those are your names. Kind of a weak list today when it comes to birthdays. Mighty weak, I would have to say. Orlando, the sports media here in Vegas are making Wilkins sound like he was the next Bruce Smith. What can I tell you? They'll find out, you know. I mean, listen, I wish him the best. You know, I have zero issues not paying him. So, you know, and just like I have issues with people saying that they're going to be worse this year than they were last year. Like, you don't know that, man. They could easily be better. You know? All right, we thank David Furones. We thank, of course, Sean Stanley, the man, the myth, the legend. We will see all of you tomorrow. Same time, same place, same bat channel. Have a great one.